AJ Mihrzad is the author of the best-selling book, The Mind-Body Solution: Train Your Brain for Permanent Weight Loss. He studied exercise science and nutrition due to his passion for health and earned a master's degree in psychology due to his fascination with the mindset of weight loss. His cutting-edge approach to permanent weight loss insists that the key to a healthy body is a healthy brain. His clients are walking proof that this is true. There are hundreds of them. AJ Mihrzad was recently inducted into the Personal Trainer Hall of Fame. His writing has also been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, the Huffington Post, Men's Fitness, and bodybuilding.com. AJ is a keynote speaker at high-end entrepreneurial and personal development events. He's also the host of the popular podcast, the Online SuperCoach Podcast, available on iTunes. Along with inspiring the lives of the general public, he is dedicated to helping coaches create an ethical, profitable online income through his business mentorship program, available at onlinesupercoach.com. AJ, you ready to rock this?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah, brother. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today and bringing the heat, man. I love the energy, just getting fired up. Dude, this is going to be a blast. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Pumped.
Yeah, boy. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Wrap it up.
The theme, baby. The theme today is I am enough. So AJ, let's go deep, man. Let's dive into this concept of being enough. How has it showed up for you in your life? How have you lived this principle? How have you taught it to your students, your clients, the people around you? How have you showed up being enough?
Wow. That is powerful. In fact, I was journaling on being enough not too recently. It always comes up for me, to be quite honest with you. I think I've come to a point in my life where I've decided that things on the external will not make me feel enough. And I was in a place, a big part of my life, where I was chasing external things. Is it the perfect body? Is it the $1 million mansion? Is it the Bentley? All these things that I would get into my life, but the desire was still there. I still had this thirst and hunger of wanting more. And it wasn't until I realized that being enough is really a state of mind. It's more so me deciding that I am enough and nothing outside of me will fulfill me. And the more I stay and meditate in that space, the more I truly feel that in my heart.
Dude, that's beautiful. So like, what does that look like to actually meditate in that? What do you see shifting? What patterns do you see like loosening? How do you know when you're actually stepping into being enough?
Well, I had to do it the old-fashioned way of getting things. So I had a tumultuous childhood. Yeah, I grew up, very poor. My family was immigrants coming into this country, and we didn't have a lot coming up. So it was 5 of us living in a one-bedroom apartment in New York, and I was always cramped up with my family, sharing beds, and I would often hear the conversation at the dinner table. We don't have enough money to pay the rent. We don't have enough food. We're not going to make it. And I was the oldest of 4 boys, and hearing this all the time, I had so much fear. We're going to be homeless. We're going to eat. I was concerned, just like my parents were concerned. So I grew up in a very scarcity-based environment. And growing up, my parents, they did the best they could, but my father, he struggled a lot with the changes of being in this country. He was a young man back in the old country. He was educated. He was a guy who had a lot going for him. Come in here, everything was wiped away. It was a language barrier. He was working odd jobs, working at McDonald's as a fry cook and at a hot dog cart, cleaning up toilets. And it really humbled him. So it led him to really self-medicate. He started drinking, and the drinking led him to be very abusive. And he was very abusive towards me, my younger brothers. He would often hit us and verbally abuse us. And unfortunately, he was abusive toward my mom as well. And that was very difficult to see the domestic violence and just being paralyzed, seeing 2 people that I love fighting, hitting each other. And it was, as a young boy, it was very hard for me to deal with. So for me, it was growing up in this violent environment, not having enough, being in this constant state of fear. As I got older, I started to really realize, maybe I could make a better life. Maybe I could develop more abundance, make more money, have more, provide for my family. And one thing I started realizing is I started to better myself and to forgive my parents and to heal the pain. I started getting more abundance, financial abundance in things. Instead of being cramped up in this small apartment, I moved into this big house. I started to buy myself all these trinkets and shiny objects. However, I still could not quench the thirst. I still could not feel enough, as this young boy thinking that once I accomplish all these things, I'm going to have it all. And the more things I got, the emptier I felt, because I worked so hard to get all these things and still I was not enough. And it wasn't until I realized that, nothing on the external is going to make me feel enough in my heart. I decide when I feel enough. So it's an internal thing more than anything.
Wow, dude, I love it. So it's really the awareness that the more you worked at this stuff, the more you acquired, the more you drove for it. Like, you just noticed that there was zero correlation to actually feeling enough, to actually feeling fulfilled, that there's like a feeling of being enough. And like you said, you meditated on that. You sat in that feeling of being enough. And when you're able to just sit there and not be pulled by life's like necessities or what we're supposed to be doing, or, all the things that we're supposed to be doing. When you're just able to sit and embrace that love for yourself and be enough, then that's when you truly started being fulfilled.
Yeah. That's where it's at, It's an inside game. There's a concept called the hedonic treadmill. And as humans, we think that the more we get, the better we'll feel. If we're making $10,000 a year, you say, if I make 100,000 a year, I'll be 10 times happier. If I make $1 million a year, I'll be 100 times happier, right? We all know that is not the case. And the reality of it is like, you could just keep on getting more things, making more money, having more shiny objects. However, that fulfillment comes within. And it's something I had to learn the hard way, right? Because I think it was Jim Carrey said, I wish everyone could become wealthy and have everything their heart desired, only to realize that it's not going to fulfill them, and that's essentially the path that I went on as a young man, acquiring all these things, and I still didn't feel it. So as I mentioned, I do a lot of journaling. So a practice that I started years ago is kind of like Bart Simpson, when he has like the chalkboard. I have pages and pages in my journal. I just write, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, over and over and over again, until I solidify it in my subconscious mind.
Wow, that's amazing, man. So what do you see now that you're creating in your life, because you have really started to integrate this at so much deeper of a level, the being enough? What shifted in your life and how you show up for people and what you attract to yourself?
I believe the number one thing is that I have a sense of wholeness that I've never experienced before. And I get to do things based on what my heart tells me. Prior to that, it was when my mind was telling me, meaning that, let's say in my business, I had a goal of like every month I have to hit 6 figures, right? I have to make $100,000 at a minimum, or else I'm not enough. And the months I would dip down in my income, I felt like crap. I felt like a loser. I'm going backwards, but that's all the head. That's the logic. That's the ego. Because why should the money in my bank account dictate how I feel? And once I started to feel enough, regardless of the money I made, regardless of the things I had, my external, I had the sense of wholeness and fullness. And at the same time, I did not have to make decisions based on hitting financial targets, right? I could say no to things and I would align myself. I have a test. It's called the FES test. I don't want to curse on this interview, but you know what F we're talking about. So now that I get to decide based on what my heart wants and what I'm fully aligned with, I say, is this an FES? If it's an FES, then I go all in, I fully commit. If it's a hell no, an F no, I say no to it, right? So now there's certain things that come, business partnerships, opportunities, coaching clients, and intuitively it's like, this person is not a good fit. Or if I go down this path, I'll be doing it, I'm making a lot of money, but it's going to lead to a lot of heartache. So now that I feel more enough, these outside factors, money, status, materialism, is not affecting me anymore.
That's powerful, man. Powerful. And I hear the theme of decisions coming up a lot in what you talk about in your paradigm. So I want to get into that a little bit. And for everyone who's just joining us, if you have any questions for AJ, let us know, because he is a freaking powerhouse at coaching and just growing businesses. I love the conversation we're having so far. So AJ, why don't you catch us up on a little bit more of what you do today and what you've been doing? Catch us up on the journey too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I touched upon my childhood earlier on this interview, and I grew up in an abusive household. Everyone has a rough childhood, so I'm not a victim by any means. And growing up in that household, I learned early on that no one's going to come to the rescue. And when I was in a place where I was seeing this violence and experiencing all this trauma, I didn't know how to process it. My parents did the best they could, but they both worked. They were not very affectionate. So I had to learn on my own, like, how do I deal with this pain? How do I deal with this trauma? So what I learned at an early age is if I eat food, I could numb myself. Wow. So I would eat and eat and eat. And I was dealing with so much of these challenges. So food was my drug. And that led me to become very overweight. And over time, I came to realize that this weight issue was affecting many areas of my life, my energy, my self-confidence, and just me not being the full man that I could be. So what I decided to do in my early 20s, at my heaviest, I was 60 pounds. At my heaviest, I was having back pain. And for me, it was crippling. So I decided to get into shape. I said, we all have the enough is enough moments, right? That's what I call it. Enough is enough. So I had enough. I cannot deal with this weight anymore. I'm going to commit myself to losing the weight. So 1 year I went to the extreme, and initially I don't know what I was doing. I was just eating lettuce and turkey breasts, going to the gym, walking on the treadmill for 2-3 hours a day. Wow. And finally I lost the weight, but I became what is called in the fitness industry as skinny fat, where I basically was soft and was skinny. I didn't have any muscle tone. So I was like, okay, I lost the weight. I felt good. I felt healthier. People treated me differently, but I wasn't happy with my body. So I said, I'm going to really take this seriously. And I was in college at the time, and I changed my major to exercise science and nutrition. Wow. So that led me to understand nutrition, the biomechanics, really understanding the human body at a far deeper level. And I decided, you know what? Losing this weight, losing 60 pounds, even though I was skinny fat, I felt really good about myself. I felt accomplished that I could manipulate my external being. So I decided to help other people do the same thing too. So I became a personal trainer, and that was my first step into entrepreneurship, being a personal trainer, helping people. And it was the best feeling in the world. I just remember like those first few clients who decided to invest in me. I was like, wow, these people are giving me money, and I get to help them with my passion, because fitness and nutrition, that was my whole life. I was maintaining my weight, slowly and surely adding muscle, decreasing my body fat. But I had these people that wanted the same thing. And because I was overweight for so long, I could connect with people. I had a sense of empathy where they didn't want to follow their diets. They didn't feel like going to the gym. I said, I was there not too long ago. Here's what I did. And I totally understand you, because I was not a genetic freak by any means. So that business did quite well, whereas I was getting people results. I was understanding them. I loved it. I was training sometimes, 16 hours a day inside the gym, and I felt good getting up at 5 a.m., working sometimes till 9, 10 o'clock at night. Wow. And it didn't bother me. But after doing it for 10 years, I decided, I need something different. I need a shift. And that's when I developed my online business. And that's a big part of what I do now. I have 2 online businesses, an online weight loss business called Life Fuel Fitness, and an online business coaching, where I essentially help personal trainers and coaches scale their online businesses. So that is where it all started, being a former fat kid, becoming a fitness expert to becoming an online business expert.
Dude, that's freaking epic, man. And what I love is that you had these challenges yourself, and you're like, hey, this is how I went through it. This is how I solved it. And that's like such a great place to empower people from, because if they can see your transformation, for everyone listening, document your journey, because there's people out there who are going to be inspired by you going from where you're at today to where you're at in 10 years. That journey is so important. It's like so valuable to share that with people, to craft it in a way that propels you forward. So AJ, I really hear that you've mastered your journey. You've mastered your story in a way that you can share it with people, to take them from, being depressed or overweight or unhealthy or stuck, exhausted, burnt out, to being able to, move forward and progress. So that's freaking awesome, dude.
Hey, thanks, Chris. One thing I believe in is leading by example.
Yes.
So I suck at a lot of things, but there's a few things I'm really good at, right? And those things I'm good at are things that I've actually mastered myself. I have the experience, decades of experience working on that area and mastering it for myself. So now that I have the tools to transform myself, I'm compelled to help other people. And that's one of the things, like, I'm not a believer in talking about things I don't have advice in, right? So I don't have any kids. I'm a single bachelor. But if I told someone what to do with their kids, I would be a bit out of integrity, So I'm like, don't ask me for relationship advice. Don't ask me to raise your kids, Don't ask me how to cook. I'm not too good at that either. But there's certain things that I can certainly help you with.
I love it, man. I love it. So let's start diving in a little bit more to the principles that you're teaching people with building an online coaching business. And, tell us about that journey, the principles, and what we should know about that.
Absolutely. So I've been coaching people since 2007. So it's been over a decade of just years and years of really seeing how people tick, and what the biggest thing that helped me was when I started my personal training business, I realized that my clients, there was this discrepancy where I was giving people the same tools, right? The same nutrition, same workouts. Some people were thriving, doing amazing with it. Other people were having a hard time, barely surviving. And I was like, what is the component between a successful client and someone who's struggling? And it really came down to their mindset, because it's the same exact strategy, but some people just turned it on. They had the discipline, the willpower, the focus. Other people, they struggled horribly. So then I decided to go back to school, and I got my master's degree in psychology. And that was a huge game changer because I started to understand human behavior in a very profound way. And I started implementing the strategies of psychology into the nutrition, exercise, and cardio. And the results for my clients skyrocketed. And I was so fascinated by my findings in my actual experience that I decided to write a book. And I wrote a book called The Mind-Body Solution many, many years ago. That book went on to become a bestseller, and it really catapulted me to what I call expert status, where I was getting people reaching out to me from all around the world. Hey, can you help me? Can you coach me? So on and so forth. So I came to realize that whether you're trying to make money, whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle, or anything your heart desires, the mindset is a key component of it, right? We've all heard this before. You get your mindset right, you can accomplish anything. So many people look for the strategies, the systems. So in terms of coaching people with their business, that's a key component of what I focus on first. I feel that everyone has a superpower, right? This amazing skill and ability that they are world-class at. They could do it better than anyone else. Most people go to them because of their superpower. And then from there, they're utilizing that in different mediums, right? So discovering your superpower, getting clear on that is the number one thing. And then from there, it's really understanding, let's say from a business point of view, there's systems. In an online business, there's three main systems you want to focus on. A marketing system that attracts your clients, a sales system that converts those leads into customers, and then finally a service. How can you serve those people through technology, books, podcasts such as this? So it's really helping people to discover their ideal superpower, getting clear on their mindset, their discipline, their big why, their passion, and then building systems to really capitalize on that key skill.
Dude, I love it. I love it. So where do you find, do you think that there's a proportion that people aren't doing, or in those systems especially? Is there a proportional more than normal amount that, people are struggling? Is it either marketing? Is it sales? Where is it that you find people are stuck?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I feel the biggest thing that I've come to find in my years and years of experience, but also being in multiple different business Facebook groups, is that people are not so clear on their superpower. Okay, what do I mean by superpower? It's a broad term, but it's like your key purpose for having a business, right? This amazing genius ability that you have. And you have this amazing superpower, but also you have people that you serve, right? You're a superhero to specific individuals. So I feel that the ability to define what your gift is, to understand what your target market is and who you want to be a superhero to, these are the core elements that I think a lot of people drop the ball on, right? So in fitness, for example, right? That's a great example. There's so many people that want to be fitness celebrities, fitness experts, fitness millionaires, but they go way too broad. They want to help everyone. So I'm a weight loss expert, okay? There's a billion weight loss experts, right? I want to help people build muscle. That is very broad as well. So you want to get super specific with who you serve. And that's the foundation of your business, right? It's the same thing when I started to make real money and I broke 6 figures with my business, and I had people coming up to me saying, hey, can you teach me how to build an online business? So then I would call myself a business coach. So I was having a hard time getting clients. I was running Facebook ads. No one would respond because I was so broad. I was just teaching pure business, pure marketing. Right. It wasn't until I niched down and I said, what is my superpower? What is the person that I want to serve? What is the actual transformation I provide? How do we get clear on positioning myself as an expert in a very small niche? Once I figured that out, everything started flowing very easily. Wow. And that's one of the first steps I work on with my clientele, discovering their superpower. What is your target market? And who do you want to be a hero to? Once we get clear on that, all the other stuff's easy because you know exactly where to find those specific clients. You speak in a language that perks their ears up. They get some hyper focus because these are my problems. These are my pains. You know exactly how they tick. And then you sell them something that's specifically for their needs, right? So in the fitness industry, right, if I'm on Google and I'm looking for weight loss, let's say I'm a man in his 30s and I used to play sports and fit, but now I'm struggling. So if I go on Google and I see, okay, weight loss expert, okay, that's general, that's broad, but I help male entrepreneurs age 25 to 37 to lose 10 pounds who are former athletes who have businesses and they struggle with their time. It's like, whoa, this guy's speaking my language, you know? Yeah. I'd much rather hire a specialist. So the world that we're getting into, this amazing, vast internet information age, everyone's looking for a specialist. So whatever field that you're in, you teach people to lose weight, to make money, to have better sex. You want to be a specialist. Yep. The more specific you are, the better you'll do.
Yeah, and the more you can charge too, because people pay for that expertise and that depth of wisdom with their specific problem. And I love how you said, you know, when you bracket off, you know, the age, the things that they're going through, you can create a solution for where they're at right now versus, hey, let's work on your marketing and sales.
yeah, absolutely. You know, in marketing, they always say it's all about the bait, right? So if someone is searching for a shark compared to a bass, oh my gosh, it's different bait, right? Yeah. But some people just kind of throw a bunch of crap, the fishing rods out there and see who bites, you know? But that specificity is so powerful.
Yeah, dude, I love it. So is there any like questions we should be asking ourselves to discover our superpowers? Anything you can give us to make sure that we're clear on that and give our audience some clarity if they're in that process?
Absolutely. You know, I'll just ask some questions right now and see what comes up. So what's an activity that you just love performing as you do it? It gives you energy throughout the day. It gives you creativity. You never get tired of it, right? To give an example, I'm in my superpower right now. Yes. I'm here with you. I lose track of time and space. I'm just flowing. I don't want it to end. I could go on for hours and hours and hours, right? Yes. As long as you want me to talk, I'll keep talking, man. So what is that activity that allows you to do that, right? And again, on the flip side, what are the activities that make you tired, that drain your batteries, that zap your creativity? Okay. So that is where your superpower lies. Those activities that give you energy throughout the day. Okay. So there's a few things that you do in your business, in your life, that as you do them, your energy levels go up, your creativity goes up, your fulfillment, you feel this amazing feeling in your heart. And if you had $1 billion in the bank, you would do it for free. So that's another great question, right? Right now, if I waved the magic wand and put $1 billion in your bank account, you never have to worry about money ever again. What would you do? How would you spend your waking hours? How would you want to help and serve people? The second question I want to ask is, what is the pain that you overcame? What is the pain do you want to heal in the world? Okay, there's this world, there's so much trauma and challenges and problems out there. But if you could pinpoint a key set of problems that you could eradicate, what would it be? Depression, suicide, obesity, bad sex, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's so much things that people are suffering with that want to pay good money to fix it. Get clear on what that is. The third question is who do you want to be a superhero to? You know, if you wore this amazing cape and you just had this group of people that you serve, your tribe, who would you want to serve? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to transform? And the final question, this requires some outside help, is simply going to the top 10 closest people in your life, whether that's your family, your loved ones, your exes, even old clients, and just ask them this question. Hey, I'm listening to a podcast with this awesome dude named Chris Burns, and there's a guy on there named AJ, high energy dude, but he asked me this question. I want to ask you that question. Since you know me well, what do you feel my superpower is? That is so profound.
Wow.
What'll happen is those 10 people will typically write, a few sentences, perhaps even a paragraph of how they view your superpower.
Wow.
And what you'll find very quickly is a pattern. You'll see certain keywords, a description, and that's how you show up and that's how you serve, right? So in the example of me being this personal trainer, I had a superpower that a person would go into a gym, see me, see 10 other people, and be like, I want to work with AJ because of my superpower. And that's why my best clients, your best clients, the people closest to you, can identify that skill set.
Dude, that's powerful. So I'm going to recap those questions because there's a freaking gold in them there hills. What's an activity you love performing? And then what are the activities that drain you? Being clear on both sides of the coin, what fuels you up, what keeps you motivated throughout the day, gives you energy. And if you could wave a realistic or a magic wand and have $1 billion in the bank, what would you do? What would you still keep doing regardless of if you had everything, all your necessities met, what would you do? And then the pain you overcame, pain you want to heal in the world. What are the problems like obesity, like, people who don't have empowering self-image, whatever it might be. And then who do you want to be a superhero to? Who do you want to provide transformation for? And then go to the top 10 closest people in your life and ask them, what do you feel my superpower is? Dude, powerful. Those are freaking
so
gold,
much great
dude.
data after doing that, man.
Why don't they teach this in school, AJ?
They don't want you to be successful. They want you to be an employee. It's like the industrial age, be a good worker, be a good student, follow the rules, retire, only live on the weekends. They don't want you to be happy like Khaled said, DJ Khaled, They don't want you to win, man. They don't want you to win. So that's why I'm teaching this stuff in school. That's why you listen to awesome podcasts like this to acquire this knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. And we're the pioneers, so to speak, of the people who are sharing this message. And eventually it will catch on. So I love this. AJ. So tell us more about, once we have our superpower, we get the messaging down, what would be the next steps that we go through to make sure that we have a successful business and actually are able to serve people? Yeah.
So we know that you have a certain people you want to work with, right? That's what I call your tribe. And it's a great term that says your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yep.
Okay. So once you identify who this dream come true client is, what I call them is a soulmate client, right? This person you love working with and you could be friends with them. Even if they didn't give you money, you would want to help them. Identify who that is, get clear on that ideal soulmate client. You want to start calling them in, okay? There's a great book. It's called the Robert Collier Letter Book. It is an ancient book on copywriting and persuasion. But the book has a phenomenal quote that I base my entire business off of, and it's this. You want to understand the conversations in your clients' minds. Get clear on their fears, frustrations, dreams, and aspirations, okay? As I mentioned earlier, you were in the problem-solving business. The bigger the problem that you solve, the more money you make. Think about the problems that Elon Musk is eradicating, right? He gets paid the big bucks for that.
Yep.
So you want to start to solve problems. through your content, through your marketing, through your emails, videos, all that good stuff. So you want to start to make a list of those items, right? Those conversations that your clients are having. There's a great term. It's called your pillow talk conversations, right? So when you're with your partner at night and you can't go to sleep and you're staring up the ceiling and you're talking about these things, I'm just having a hard time with my business. I'm not making any money. Or you know what? We have been in this relationship for a few years and we are just not intimate. We don't have that same connection when we first started dating. I mean, these are severe problems. So you want to start developing content that is discussing those pillow talk conversations. And it might feel weird to like talk about these intimate things, but the moment you start talking about them publicly on social media, on your videos, your emails, even in person, on podcasts, all of a sudden the people that need your help, their ears get hyper focused, I'm going to give a crude example, but it just came up intuitively. But let's say, for example, you have your superpower is to help men with erectile dysfunction. It's a very personal problem. And obviously, because of the advent of Viagra and Cialis and all these tools, a lot of men suffer from it, right? So let's say you had this amazing natural superpower of curing men's erections, okay? So you would go on Facebook and make a simple post, listen, are you a man who can't get it up, or you have a hard time satisfying your man or your woman, right? All of a sudden, those dudes get hyper-focused. And like, wait, what is this, Yep. They want to start listening to you. So you're basically talking about their fears, frustrations, dreams, aspirations, and then you're going to craft a solution for them, okay? And the secret of marketing is to discuss the what and the why, but not the how, okay? Here is what you need. Here's why it's important. But in order to get the how, that's a call to action.
Wow.
Click on this link, send me a message, leave a comment, like this post, and you give people the opportunity, the permission to go deeper with you.
So I'm curious in terms of the how do we balance giving enough away, like having people see the value and get value off the bat? Like, is it simply just like what would be an example of what and why? And like, how do we make sure that we don't give away the how or too much of the how, but we still add value?
Yeah, great example. So let's say if I'm working with busy working moms who want to lose belly fat, okay? My whole business is based on busy working moms who want to lose belly fat, okay? The what and the why. I would go on Facebook, I would do a video, 1 minute video. Are you a busy working mom who's struggling with her belly fat? Do you have a hard time decreasing your midsection when you sit down and have dinner? Do you worry about your belly coming over your jeans? Are you scared to wear halter top shirts? Well, I have a solution for you. It's actually a 30-second stomach reducer. If you do this one exercise every single day, only takes 30 seconds. Within a few weeks, you'll reduce 1 to 2 inches off of your belly fat. So like this post, and I'll send you a message with how to perform the exercise, okay? Wow. So simple, the what and the why. They click on the video, they like it, right? I mean, all of a sudden, if I have a belly fat issue and I'm a busy mother, I'm a hyper focus. I'm listening to you and I'm hitting that like faster than you finish the video.
Yep.
They start liking a post. You then slide up in their DMs and say, hey, thank you for liking my video. Here's an actual short video I created. It's called a stomach vacuum. It is a really simple exercise you could do anywhere you go. It doesn't require any equipment. You have to go to the gym. Here's how to do it. Here's a process. You give them that gift. You add some value to them, what I call giving them results in advance. And you give them a little taste, a little appetizer. However, that's not going to fix the problem. But you say, hey, if you want to go further, I actually have a coaching program to go a lot deeper into this and not just losing 1 inch of belly fat. You can lose 5-6 inches and have it off for the rest of your life. All of a sudden, I'm putting myself at the top of that person's list, because I'm giving them an amazing amount of value. I understand their problems, their pains better than they know it themselves. And I'm coming from a giving nature, right? I'm giving to them before they even give me money. So everyone else who's marketing, hey, buy my stuff, join my program. I'm the best in the world at what I do. You're going above and beyond all the noise and you're getting right to the source.
Wow. And what I hear is the what, like the you targeted the person, this woman with belly fat. So it's like you clearly cut through the BS, cut through the noise, all the social media, because everyone's like, there's a lot, right? A lot of noise to cut through.
A lot of noise.
You said, this is who I'm talking to. If that's you, then that person is listening. You know, if they're like, oh, it's talking to me, I better, what do you got to say? What do you got to say? Yeah. And then you covered the what, right? It's like the what or why is the why you're going to do this, because you want to lose the belly fat, and the what is, well, just with this one trick, you know, like with this one solution, with this one exercise, you can do that. Great, and hey, just give a like and I'll send it over to you. And then you mentioned giving them results in advance. You send them the process, you send them the video, you make the conversation more intimate versus like just giving it just online, because you could give this away, but that's probably what a lot of people are doing, like just posting up the video, but you transitioned it into, hey, you're special, you liked the video, you took the action, you made a micro commitment, okay, now I'll give you some value. And by the way, if you want to go faster, if you want to achieve more, I have this program that will help you with that.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. You know, you're doing a lot of things that most people don't do, and it's like really like a logical way, because sometimes people make it so complicated. They develop this elaborate landing page, and they have these videos and all these buttons, all these funnels, and all this stuff. But if you think about it, the people on social media, you know, it's like so much more friendly if they like a video. You just message them like friends, right? It's very personal, and then you develop a conversation. So depending on what that client is worth to you, it's worth doing that manual work. At the same time, my favorite call to action, you'll see me doing this a lot, is like this post on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, because the cool thing about liking it, that someone could like it if they like you, but they like it if they have a problem, right? So something as sensitive as having a belly fat issue, most people are not going to comment, right? Because some people are like, hey, comment, I'm fat below this video if you want to lose weight, and I'll help you out, you know? Some people, like, you know, imagine the example with the guy with erectile dysfunction, right? They want to keep it discreet. They want to keep it low key. They don't want everyone to know their big problem. So that's why the like this post is a great way for them to give you permission to slide in their DMs.
Yeah, and even asking them to message you, that might be even a little too vulnerable or risky for them. And like the like is like, dude, okay, cool, I like it, you know. And they probably just go on with their day after that, but they took the action, and in their mind, they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I did like that video. AJ did add value. He did say there was something cool. Let's check it out.
Yeah, the biggest thing on social media is you want people to basically have like low barrier, right? The lowest barrier for them to contact you, for them to raise their hand, because that's all you're doing, getting people to raise their hand, you know? And the same principle could be used in an email sequence, right? In a Facebook ad. I mean, there's multiple call to actions. Now we have these amazing messenger bots. There's a program called ManyChat. It's a phenomenal tool that you could put up a Facebook ad and say, comment this or like this. And then once they do that, an automatic bot starts a whole sequence. Wow. But this is where, you know, marketing is going, because back in the day, it was so much more elaborate and complicated, and people were kind of, I guess, they weren't used to all these technologies and systems, but now people are very savvy. Also, it's very competitive. You know, ClickFunnels and Lead Pages, all these companies, man, there's so much of these automatic tools that people are being, you know, forced down their throats. So the one who's personable and just treats it like a human being, right? And that's what it's all about. It's just doing like old school. Like before technology, you would go and knock on someone's door and make them an offer, you know? So, dude, keep it nice and simple, man.
I love it, man. I love simplicity. This may or may not be simple, but like, what was it that allowed you to take your business from 6 figures to 7 figures? Like, what did you have to do or adopt or learn?
Yeah, this is so great, because actually I made a post about this. You know, I really thought about this. I get this question a lot from a lot of people, like, how'd you become a self-made millionaire? How'd you get your income to that level? And it was a bunch of things, to be quite honest. You know, of course, being a guy who's into psychology and understanding the inner workings of the mind, I would say the mindset was the number one thing. Right. And in all the years of helping people transform their bodies and their bank accounts, like I saw this one trait that's probably the most powerful psychological trait there is. And if you master this, you can master anything. Do it in yourself first, get the results, and then teach it to other people. And that is the power of identity. Okay.
Amen.
So
Amen.
shifting someone's identity is the ability to give them the fastest transformation possible, right? It's a phenomenal book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. This book came out, I think, in the 50s or 60s when the world was not ready for this high level of information. But Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon, and he's routinely performing these evasive plastic surgery procedures. You know, someone had a really big nose, and you give them a perfect nose, and they still weren't happy, right? They had these ailments that they would get surgery, but they still were not happy, right? Same issue I had was not feeling enough. They didn't feel enough. So he's like, what is going on here? I'm doing all these surgeries and these people are still not happy. It's because their identity was that of an ugly person, a person with a big nose, or unhappy with their physical characteristics. So what Maxwell did was he started doing identity work with them and asked them, like, who do you want to be? Okay. Who would make you feel confident, sexy, powerful? And once a person took on that identity, oftentimes they didn't even need plastic surgery. You know, he would have consultations with people and be like, before I take off 2 inches off your nose, try this on for size. Here's an exercise, right? Imagine yourself in your most sexiest, most vibrant, most confident. And then he would give them a way of, in a sense, conditioning that mindset, conditioning that physical appearance. All of a sudden they would get up and just be like, whoa, you know, this feels really good. And you know what? I don't need to take my nose off. I'm good as is. I love myself. So it was so powerful. He wrote a book about it. And I came to realize that even with my clients, if I'm trying to get them to lose weight, I could give them the nutrition plan, the workout plan, the cardio plan, or give them the identity of a healthy person, right? So for me being overweight my entire life, I said, how does a healthy person think, act, and speak? Because those are the three modalities: think, act, and speak. So I came up with this term based on speeding up the identity shifting process, and that is to act as if, and soon you will become. Okay. When I was struggling financially, growing up as this poor kid, trying to make a name for myself, trying to make some money to provide for my family, I was struggling, man. I was reading books about how to become a millionaire. I was going to seminars, getting mentors. How do I increase my money? How do I make $80,000 to $100,000 a month? How was that even possible? It's all the how. Okay. That was a strategy. That was a systems. I kept on falling flat. It was not until I understood this concept of identity and I said, act as if and soon I'll become. Okay. So how does a millionaire think? How do they speak? How do they act? How do they carry themselves? The body language, the decisions, the investments, the peer group. Once I acted as if I was a millionaire with a millionaire identity, soon I saw the shifts happening, the opportunities, the people, the places, and my bank account started growing. Yeah. All those books, they were helpful, but they didn't do the trick. The coaches, the seminars, all that stuff. So most people, like, if you're struggling with something and you look at all the how-tos, you're watching videos about it and all the systems, ask yourself, how does that person act? Who do you need to become in order to have that end result?
I love it. So what is the process to get clear on that? Like, yes, thinking about it, but did you journal? Did you ask yourself specific questions to create that and meditate on that and attract that to create that life?
Yeah, absolutely. So my biggest goal was to be a $1 million online fitness coach, right? So that was the identity that I had to emulate, being this broke personal trainer, you know? So I said to myself, like, how does a $1 million coach think, act, and speak? So the first thing I did was a mantra. I would say to myself, when no one was home, just like in this situation here, I would scream it out loud. I am the world's best $1 million online coach. I love my clients. My clients love me. I give my clients the best results. Yes. I am a $1 million online coach. Woo! I just felt that, you know? I am that. Yeah. Yes. So that's a good place to start. And then what I would do is I would journal, right? I've had a journal since 2006. I've not missed a day. Every single day I'm writing inside there, but a simple exercise of what I call writing your ideal day. So on a blank piece of paper, do this. Write down if you were that ideal. How would you live your day? How would you operate. So I'd write down, so I am a $1 million online coach. I have 20 clients that pay me $5,000 every single month.
Yep.
I work from the internet, from my house, off a laptop. I transform lives with my information. I don't have to go inside of a gym. So it's like I'm writing all these ideal characteristics. And a lot of it's like my confidence, right? My ability to film videos, to be on podcasts and just be free and be open, because these attributes are thinking processes. So the more that I wrote in that journal, the more that I thought in my mind, I created a target. And what ended up happening, this is the most fascinating thing about psychology, is that your subconscious mind will go to work into aligning yourself to that ideal, okay? A great example is this house that I live in. This house, I journaled it. Literally 12 years ago, I wrote in my journal the exact house I want to live in, tall ceilings, 10 bedrooms, contemporary design, a movie theater, swimming pool, basketball court. Like, I was so delusional back then, right? My friends would be like, you're nuts. You'll never own a house like that. You're crazy, you know? Dude, this is it, man. It happened. You know, something happened in those 12 years that I thought I spoke and acted as a guy who deserved this house, right? And it's not about the house. You know, God forbid this house could burn down. I could lose it in a snowstorm. But here's the thing. Who I became in the process can never be taken away from me, right? So the ideal is the ideal, but who you become on the road to achieving that end result, that's where the secret lies.
Man. So just to catch everyone up, we talked about identity. Check out psycho-cybernetics. Who do you want to be? Who are you becoming? And we talked about journaling, like what are the attributes of that? The thinking patterns, the acting patterns, what are the behaviors, and the speaking patterns. And you said act as if, and soon you will become. So who are you going to become? I am, I have, I work, I transform. Those powerful verbs to put into your present reality that you're journaling about will create that reality. So AJ, dude, this is freaking gold, man. And you definitely walk the talk. You're a powerhouse. So we're wrapping up now, and we want to call our audience. I know, dude, it's flying. It's flying.
It was like 10 minutes. Like, I could go for another hour, man.
High energy, baby. High energy. Yeah. I love it. So what is the call to action, the new paradigm, the new reality that we are inviting our audience to step into today because of their time invested with us here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I firmly believe that this process that I shared of acting as if and soon you'll become is really the genesis for any type of transformation. And I believe in it so much, I actually created a 5-day challenge to achieve your dream life and your dream business.
Love it.
So I've been talking about this on numerous podcasts, and I host seminars and events in my house. And I'm always talking about this verbally over and over and over again. And I'm like, there's only so much of me explaining this manually. How have I created an automated process that people could go through that dictates this entire thing, where you develop a vision, right? The end result, your ideal. If that's your ideal body, your ideal business, your ideal relationship, how do you map that out? And then from there, go to work in terms of creating an action plan, daily habits to make that a reality, how to change that inner game, the subconscious mind, get clear on your superpower, get clear on exactly what needs to be done. And then within 5 days, get the end result. Wow. So I've created this challenge, and so far I've actually had thousands of people go through it. So I'm always fine tuning it, making it better. And for the listeners of the show, I want to provide the challenge for you for absolutely free.
Yes.
Okay. Free 5-day course that I've perfected over 12 years of running my own business, serving people. And it is very, very simple. I would highly suggest you to play all out, because one of the reasons why I charge for this normally is because people don't value free, right? It's an old adage, if you don't pay attention. So if you want to donate some money to me, I'll give you my PayPal. And if that makes you feel good, I'll be happy to take it. But if you want to do it for free and you're committed, then I highly suggest you go through this challenge. I'll give you a special URL. If you go to this website, onlinesupercoach.com/start, that's exactly how to start the 5-day challenge. Now, my best advice to you is to start this on a Sunday, a Monday, or Tuesday, beginning of the week, because you want to kind of go into it as if your life depends on it. That's why I'm giving that disclaimer about people not valuing it. Like anything, right? If you pay $100,000 for a 5-day course, man, you're going to follow that like your life depends on it. But if you do it for free, maybe so, maybe not so. But think about your why, right? We talk about the what and the why, but what's your why? What's that big vision? And if you could take this challenge with the same level of commitment, focus, like your life depends on it, you will achieve amazing results. And I have a lot of testimonials on people that went through the same exact process, got incredible results. On that same website, OnlineSuperCoach.com, I have like hundreds of video testimonials of the same exact process people that went through. So if you want to watch that to get you motivated, totally cool. But that would be a great starting place to really develop your dream and goal vision.
Dude, so beautiful, this 5-day challenge. And then AJ, do you have any big plans or events coming up this year that you want to share about with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my favorite things to do is to teach people in person. And I like to do seminars because it's a very immersive process. So every 3 months, I host a major seminar here in New York. And my next one is at the end of April.
Cool. On
that same website, OnlineSuperCoach.com, it has everything on there. My live events, my seminars, and also I do events at this house. I had a entrepreneur seminar, about 50 people here in this living room. Wow. And what I do is I do like a free 1-day seminar or a 2-day seminar, low cost, but it's really just sharing all these things that I taught in person, right? Because if you got a taste of it here, I'm giving results in advance, giving some value. But in person, while you're here in the setting and you're just immersing it, you're living it, you're around people who think, act, and speak the same way you do, that's where the massive shifts occur.
Dude, I love it. I love it. So everyone go to www.onlinesupercoach.com/start if you want to do that challenge. And if you want to be with AJ at his amazing events, either at his house or in New York, definitely go to onlinesupercoach.com. Check out those reviews and testimonials of all the people he's already helped. And dude, AJ, keep up the freaking heat, man. We are so excited to see you keep growing, keep impacting more lives. And dude, today, this like modern age, there's so many coaches and so many people who are like rising up to be able to make a difference in people's lives. So thank you for empowering them with the tools and the abilities to execute on that vision of making a difference, man. We really appreciate you.
Hey, Chris, thank you. I want to acknowledge you as well because, man, ever since we crossed paths, I'm just so grateful that we're friends. I think we're connected by Kalani, a good friend of mine, and actually a client of mine as well. And she was like, man, you got to connect with this guy, Chris. She created the Facebook message, man. I remember that first conversation we had. I'm like, this is a guy I want to know. And honestly, this podcast just flew by. Like it felt 10 minutes. So I want to acknowledge you for what you do, for how much value you add. Man, you're just going back to back to back to back. So
that's right.
Chris, you are the man, buddy. I appreciate you.
Thank you, AJ. Just the beginning, brother. You have the best day ever. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Peace.
Peace out.